America has been able to prove statistically since at least the early 90s that young white men are the most violent demographic in our country. They are the most likely to commit acts of mass violence. They are the most likely to be family annihilators. And they're also the most likely to be radicalized. And we've known this reliably, statistically, since the early 90s. And we have done nothing with this information. We have tried for zero solutions to this problem with catastrophic consequences. The violence is only going to get worse until we address the fact that mainstream young white male conservatism today looks more like a Hitler Youth rally than the republicanism of our grandfathers. And we have decided as a culture that we don't care, and we are unwilling to address this demographic problem. And until we start coming up with solutions, we are going to continue to be under assault by young white men who kill multiple people at a time in mass shootings. And that's just, it is what it is.
Mr. President, I implore you, call for a civil war. Call for a civil war and let us do our thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country. These words, they use bullets.
This is the man who shot Charlie Kirk. This is the man who shot Trump. This is the man who killed Melissa Hortman. This is the man who tried to kill John Hoffman. This is the man who tried to kill Paul Pelosi. This is the man who killed an Obama-appointed judge's son. This is the man who hired hitmen to kill Democrats. This is the man who ran over a left-wing activist and killed her. This is the man responsible for the Austin bombing. This is the man who sent pipe bombs to Obama, Biden, and Hillary Clinton. This is the man who shot Gabby Gifford. This is the man who tried to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, and this man, and this man, and this man, this man, this man, this man, this man, this man, and this man. This is the man who set Josh Shapiro's house on fire. This is the Oklahoma bomber. This is his accomplice. These are just a few of the men who beat police officers on January 6th.
White men are the mental health problem in this country. Jim Crow, white men. Slavery, white men. Segregation, white men. Concentration camps for Asian Americans in the late 30s and early 40s. 1,800 people died. How many black people were hung from trees? 8,000. Let me guess. Oh yeah, once again, white men. The gun violence? 98% are men. 84% are white men, U.S. citizens. I see a trend. How about the Middle Passage where 1.2 African Americans died? Oh yeah, once again, white men. Why was the Second Amendment written? Let me think. Oh, so black people couldn't have their freedoms. So the white men could once again control them. Who's in the White House? An adjudicated rapist, convicted felon white man. Wow, I see a trend. But somehow Americans are just begging to blame a trans person, a non-white person. See, what happened to George Floyd is symbolic of what's happening in this country. The white man putting his knee on the neck of a non-white person and sitting there in broad daylight with the balls to say, who's going to stop me? And that's what we're seeing right now. So that's the question that we need to ask ourselves as a fucking country. Who's going to stop them? Because I'm just one person here. Now, I don't know about you, but I got friends and family that are sitting behind the white privilege, and I want nothing to do with them. Not because of who they are, because their lack of action. Martin Luther King said, history is going to remember not the people that did bad things, but the good people that stood by and did nothing. Because once again, the white man is hiding behind their privilege while everybody else is getting treated like absolute fucking garbage. Because it doesn't affect me. You don't even want to go on a general strike to stop fascism. Oh, I can't work. Oh, I got a job. White man is the mental health crisis in the United States of America. It has been since day one. When you look at the majority of them, what do you see? A bunch of insecure little wannabe alpha males with small penises that need big trucks and guns to feel like a real man. That's the real problem, is toxic masculinity. That the white man feels unable to shit on everyone's rights just because of how they look. It's ironic, isn't it, that they demonize black people because they're black on the outside, and yet their hearts are black on the inside. Isn't that ironic? And every single time we see a mass shooting, they're just salivating on the white supremacist red hatters to say, oh my gosh, it was an immigrant, it was a trans person, it was a gay people. 84% of gun violence is white men. But when it happens, like at the church the other day, what happens? Oh, thoughts and prayers. But what happened with the racist podcaster? Oh, they were just dying for it to be somebody on the left so they can just blame somebody else. And a white man. The Catholic, the church yesterday. A white man. 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 Ahmaud Arbery. Guess what? 3 white men that chased out a black guy. Breonna Taylor. Oh, a white cop. Again and again and again and again and again. It's the same demographic. White men are the problem in this fucking country. And until we address the real mental health epidemic, which is white supremacy built on white men controlling people, because that's how this country was designed, for 21-year-old land-owning white men to shit on everybody else. This country was designed to benefit my demographic, and that is not okay. That is the original sin of this country. And until we address it, we will never be a great country, and we haven't been a great country. And if you don't like that, then you can ship your...
White women, talk to your fucking sons, okay? And I don't mean just like see if Billy is real happy on the football team and if Ashley's going to go out with him. I mean tell him about empathy and boundaries and consent, and talk about fear and talk about anger and talk about therapy, which is an option, and talk about feelings and emotions and how to express them properly and not keep it all boxed in, and get in their face and say, are you okay? Are you really okay? Tell me what's not okay with you today, and let's work on that. Instead of just telling them how great they are and how special they are and how beautiful they are and how they're just the love of your life, fucking talk to them like humans that are going to be out in the world dealing with their shit along with other people's shit so that they don't fucking shoot other people as a result of it, okay? White moms, it's on you. Sorry.
What this group's ideology is.
So the accelerationist white supremacy view goes like this. Number one, they hate the government. An accelerationist is, their views are this. They don't believe there's a political solution that can save the white race. They believe that society is going to collapse on its own or from man-made events, and they want to accelerate. They want to speed up the collapse of society. When I was in the base, my cell, CELL, was looking at property. My cell and the Maryland cell were looking at property in the Appalachian Mountains. There was a Northwest, Midwest, Detroit, out of Detroit area in Michigan. They were looking at property in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. The Pacific Northwest, they already had property. The leader of the base had property in the Pacific Northwest. What they believe is, let's do guerrilla warfare tactics. Let's do small attacks like we take out a power plant or power grid. We take out a water system by poisoning it. You kill lefties. You kill anti-fascists. You kill non-whites. Burn their businesses, stuff like that. Slash their tires. Anything to create chaos, to start the downfall of society. So a lot of times when I'm teaching, I say, like, remember that year when everything was being burnt? In most accelerationist groups that I was aware of, if you scratch the surface enough, whether they say they're pagan or the Christian identity, most of the ones I interview were pagan, but that's not to say that they're pagans for real. Just like white supremacists take the Bible to come up with the stories for Christian identity, which is not Christian, it's not Christ following, it's called Christian identity. It was totally white supremacist. They were doing that with paganism. And those are heavily satanic white supremacy groups. And when you look at Order of Nine Angles and others of that nature, they are big, at least they're proponents of, and if you get into their chat rooms, you're going to see some horrific stuff because they're big on sexual abuse, rape, and pedophilia. Siege culture, which is that accelerationist view, probably when the boogaloo happens, they're saying they're just going to rape kids and women all they want. People on the base said that. They were like, hey, because I told them, I'm like, hey, I ask, hey, I see we're always talking about this. We're going to get our own ethno-state. We're neo-Nazis. Yeah, bam, 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 bam. I haven't heard you guys talking about getting our own compound or getting our own ethno-state. I haven't heard any of you guys talk about procreation for the white race. You know what I mean? And I've got a woman, but she's not being shared. So, and that's when the two of them were like, oh, we're just going to rape the women. And I went,
In Indiana in 1925, no man was more powerful than KKK Grand Dragon D.C. Stevenson, who controlled the governor, the state house, Indianapolis, and the state literally from one end to the other, and was made a multi-millionaire by selling the Klan to Indiana ministers and their congregations. Madge was a state employee interested in teaching rural Hoosiers to read, and that's what brought her upon demand to Stevenson's house in this Irvington neighborhood one night. Madge was plied with liquor and maybe drugs and loaded on a train at Union Station headed for Chicago with Stevenson and his cronies.
Stevenson molested her, raped her, bit her.
It was those bite injuries that led to a staph infection that eventually took Madge's life, but not before she told her story to a lawyer and a friend who wrote it all down. He was found guilty of second-degree murder and later served 30 years in prison.
He had made it very clear that he wanted to get to the White House, and he said yes, but if I had gotten there, it probably wouldn't be called a president anymore.